This will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put us under. This will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put us under. This will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put us under.
Hi, and welcome to Marriage and Ministry, and the two shall be one. This is a show where we hope to encourage those who are married. When we look at marriage as ministry, and we want to encourage those who are married in ministry, we know that marriage is difficult yet rewarding, but those who are in ministry have just a different level of responsibility, a different level of accountability. Your marriage is not your own. You're in the spotlight whether you want to be or not. And it's very important to work hard at, guarding your marriage and keeping it grounded. And so we just want to bring just awareness. We hope that those who are viewing this show and you are married or desire to be married, that you are encouraged, that you understand that marriage is worth it, although you're going to have to put some work in. And we hope that those who are in ministry and are married who are viewing this show, you will see that you're a part of a big club, you're not alone, and that we're all rooting for each other to win. And so in the Bible, in Mark, it talks about the two becoming one flesh. And so I'm very excited as we talk to different couples. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm going to already tell you, he is my most favorite guest of all times, of all seasons. I already know that. And the reason why I'm so excited is because my special guest is my husband, Jason Battle. And so, Jason, thank you for thank you for coming to the show. Now, you see there are two chairs on the set. Normally, I'll be talking to couples. So I wanted to kick off the show with us because we are definitely a couple that is married in ministry. And so I wanted to bring my husband off, want to kick off the show, to bring him on, want to kick off the show, and two, just so that we can share our story with people because we're going to be asking other people to share their stories. And so, Jason, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And so you will see my husband makes me laugh. I love him dearly. Before we start, though, I do want to shout out to him. We met at North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride. I played basketball. I was on the basketball team. He played football and baseball. And so we met in the training room. I was hurt. I had a knee injury. He had a shoulder injury from baseball. And we met in the training room.
It was football season.
Football season. Oh, I'm sorry. It was football season. It wasn't baseball season. He had a football injury. I'm sorry. Yeah. And he had a shoulder injury, though, correct? No. What was it?
It was a pulled muscle.
Oh, it was a pulled muscle in his leg. It was an injury, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It was an injury. We met in the training room. And
after all this time,
I know. Look, I'm trying to tell you.
You don't even remember how we met.
We met in the training room on the campus of A&T. Like, that is all that matter, right? So, Aggie Pride. So, this is the story.
The story don't seem the same if you don't tell it right.
This is the story. This is what I was getting at. So, he played football and baseball. So the MEAC is the conference that North Carolina A&T and some other HBCU schools are a part of. And they are celebrating their 50-year anniversary. And so what they did to celebrate, they selected the 50 top players in the past 50 years. And do you know that my husband was selected to the all-time baseball team. Yes! Woo! He is one of the top 50 of all time. And so I just wanted to shout you out. I think that is so awesome. I am so proud of him. And I sat through some cold games, and he did well. He did very well. He did very well on the baseball field. So I wanted to get that out the way. Because, I try to be his number one cheerleader and scream for him the loudest. So when we're talking about marriage and ministry, I just want to tell our story. I do want to ask you, I think I know the answer, but what went through your head when I came home and said, Pastor Gaylord had talked to me about doing full-time ministry, leaving my job that I had been on for 13 years, and just working for the church full time? What went through your head?
Just the main thing was it gonna be able to provide for us? What our time looked like? If we were, just already with what I do and being in and out and traveling and everything else, just how much it would take away from our time as a family, and the strain and stress it will put on, our marriage.
Yeah. And I was hesitant. So when I walked through the door to talk to Jason about me doing ministry full time, I was kind of hesitant. I know that we didn't see eye to eye on the time because I was already doing ministry a lot. I remember he joked and said he was going to change, my address to the church.
Probably, most likely.
He was going to get my mail sent to the church. I remember him saying that. In one of our, disagreements, not arguments, but disagreement, wasn't saying eye to eye on some things. And so just knowing that we had that conversation, I was kind of skeptical about having this, like this is going to be my full-time ministry. And so we did talk about some of those time considerations, talked about our schedules, what that would look like. And what do you think has been the most challenging part of just me being in full-time ministry? And Jason is a football coach. I told you, a lot of people know him for football. He's very successful. He has won a high school state championship and was a runner-up. And so he's known for football, but so he has a schedule in himself. He has, I see that as his ministry. He has a lot of young men, that he's pouring into. He's mentoring. He is coaching. So he has his own ministry, his own set of time restraints and requirements, and then I would have my own. What do you think has been one of the most challenging things with me being in full-time ministry and you kind of doing your thing as well?
My thing has been, I think, you trying to figure out how that you can't be everywhere all the time. I could say, and being fair,
yeah.
like I was the same way when I first started. So in my first year 1 to year 6, probably 6 or 7 of coaching, being a head coach, I feel like I had to have my hands on everything. Whereas, now I don't have to be, as hands-on. But I think with what we're looking at, just the feeling of you do too much. And instead of, sometimes just saying, I can't be there, I can't do it, or I need to be doing, something else. So just that people understand that, you got a home too.
Right.
And you have a family that you have to take care of.
And so I invited my husband on this show, knowing my husband. So that's why I love him about, he tell us how it is. And we have had this conversation about doing too much. I think one of the things that we're working on is defining what too much is for both of us. Meaning what too much looks like for me and what does too much look like for me to him. I may think I'm doing enough or just enough, or I may have said no 10 times and he doesn't know about that. And then the 2 times I say yes, it may seem like it's too much. And so I think us just communicating and figuring out what does too much look like, when will it become stressful for our home? When does it start tipping over into that conflict land. So,
I mean, I believe we just disagreed
yeah.
recently on some things you did, but it also the disagreement was a opportunity for me to understand that just because of I think it's too much doesn't mean it's too much for you. So, but at the same time, I still have to speak out or say something because even though you feel like you can do all these things, you'll look up one day and be burned out.
Yeah.
And didn't even recognize that you were doing too much, and you could have been resting a little bit in these times.
Yes. And that's a great word, burnout. We talk about it in ministry all of the time about pastors who just burn out. They just give out. They have nothing left to give. And so I do appreciate, my husband kind of pulling my coattail and saying it may be looking like too much. And so again, like you said, we're trying to communicate that. So communication is key, guys, in marriage. Communication is key. I know you've heard that and we talk about that, but it's not just a communication plan, letting me know when you're going here or this. It's not just about scheduling. It's also about speaking up and communicating the way you will receive it. Right?
That's right.
So, in our disagreement that we just recently had, I shut down hoping that he was going to speak up. And when I shut down, he shut down. And then I had to speak up and he didn't want to hear what I had to say at that time because I shut down. Correct? Am I explaining that right?
Yeah, pretty much. At the time, I didn't have anything nice to say, so I didn't say anything at all.
Thank you. He didn't have anything nice to say, so he didn't say anything at all. Our grandmothers taught us that, and he put that into effect very well. I think it lasted a little bit too long, but nevertheless, you did a great job with that. And so,
well, as I've said before, and and you come to the point where you realize when I get upset, I get in a corner to myself until I can communicate it the best way I know how.
Yeah, and that's really good. So, one of the things that came out when we did the marriage panel with the couples ministry here at Word, one of the things that you said that a lot of people commented on, and we received a lot of feedback from it, is you have to do what works for you. You cannot model your marriage around other people. You have to find what works for you. Do you think we found what works for us?
Somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've gained a routine of things, but I mean we're constantly changing and evolving. So right now we're working in the right direction, I believe.
And I asked that question because it's the theme of the show is marriage and ministry, and the two shall become one. But oneness is a process. It's not like I do. When you say I do on that day, you're automatically one. There's some differences that you have to work through. There are some different opinions, different personalities. Now, my husband and I have different personalities, very different personalities. Extremely. And so we have to work through that. And I think that is what people don't realize, that oneness is a ever-evolving process. So when you say it right now, we good, but with an understanding, that we evolve, that we're ever growing. I think that's very key for people to hone in on. That's very key for you to consider, because even when you get it and you're good, something may happen. The person may grow into something else, or something else may come into your marriage that you have to respond to. And that, I think that's what's very important, just having that flexibility.
Well, I mean, we don't, let me find the right way to say it. I don't think we do what's necessary at the time. Mm-hmm. So there's not clear-cut and defined roles, I think. Like, I may do the majority of the cooking, but that doesn't mean you can't cook. Mm-hmm. Or, I may go to the grocery store. That don't mean you can't grocery shop. And, but again, on the flip side, pick up the kids way more than I do and transport and do those things. But I can step in and do what I need to do if you're unable to. So I think, like, when you're looking at it from, well, that's a main reason why you can't necessarily model after someone else, because you don't know how their dynamics are.
True.
So,
That's so true.
they got, some families may not have as many kids, or they might not be into sports like our kids are.
Right. That is so true.
Yeah, so the dynamics are totally different depending on whose marriage you're trying to look at. And, I don't think you can do that. Like, some people, it's different from looking at our parents or somebody like that, whereas I could say wholeheartedly growing up, if we ate a meal during the week, 7 days a week, my mom cooked 6 of them. So, but in our house, it may not look the same.
Right.
So, though the way that we grew up and we looking at marriages and things of that sort, it's different now. Like, everything is different. So, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for it to be different.
And I think I'm glad you said that, and you said it perfectly, that it is okay to be different. I think too many times, even in other aspects of life, we look at something that's different and we pronounce it bad. And that's a very powerful way of thinking, because you're saying your standard is the standard and it's the best standard. But differences, and I said this in the marriage panel, it used to scare me. Our differences, we were so different, used to scare me. But when I really settled into, like, wow, this is really defining our marriage. This is how Stephanie and Jason looks. This is how the Battle family looks. This is our Battle Strong motto and what that looks like. And so I think once I kind of settled into that and start accepting our differences and really appreciating them, I think it kind of release the pressure off a lot of us.
You can't put me in a box.
Yeah.
You wanted to put me in a box, and you wanted to shape and mold me like you wanted me to be. You can't put me in a box.
I can't put you in a box.
You can't.
You broke all that box.
Yeah, I never got in it. I never even attempted to step in the box.
And that was probably part of the conversation. I was like, just get in the box. But you're right. I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did.
I mean, essentially, like, that goes back to saying you knew what a successful marriage looked like to you, mm-hmm. and you knew what you saw, you knew the things that they did, but that didn't necessarily make me have to become one of those people.
Right.
So, allow our marriage to be our marriage. And I used to say that to you all the time. We used to talk about it, like, we have to be our own.
Now that we have defined our own, and now that I think we are moving in the right direction, would you agree, though, that having mentors or marriage partners that you can glean from, be encouraged with, is important? Do you think that has helped us?
Yes.
I agree. I do too.
And whether it's collectively, like us together, or separately, speaking to individuals that are married on our own, and just sometimes having somebody else that you can communicate and run things by about how I may be feeling as a husband, has been good for me, because it's people that's close to me, as you know, that can call me out when I'm wrong. But they also make me feel good when I tell them a story and they tell me I'm right. And I need to push forward with my way of thinking. That's a good feeling as well. So,
right.
But I think having those people in your life is important, but also understanding and talking to them that they have your best interest at heart, right. And they have your marriage as most important as well. Important.
Right. And so, I shout out to my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They have been married 49 years. Shout out to my mom and my dad. They have been married it'll be 42 years at the end of this month, end of July. And then we have friends, that we go out with, that we go on vacation with, that we glean from. They've been married around the same number of years. So we're walking this journey together. And so we're experiencing things right along. So I think about Anthony and Alonzia, Darius and Keisha. I think about our siblings, so like Mark and Denise, Andre and Charmaine, Mel and Didi, and my brother and his wife are newly married. So we kind of have that built-in accountability partners, but also, like you said, support people. Like, yeah, you're doing a great job, or I didn't even think about that.
I never thought about that. All of us were somewhat married. Is everybody that you just named? We all got married, other than your brother. In like a 2-year time frame.
Right. Yep.
Whereas all of us now are like, 14, 15, 16 years married. So never thought about it that way, but
kind of walking out together.
Yeah. Well, those are all the people that we would feel comfortable discussing things about.
Right.
Discussing things with.
Yeah. So that's good. So when we talk about oneness, Jason and I have both talked about just differences, letting them define you, not divide you. Oneness is a process, ever evolving. Oneness being enhanced through communication and trying to be understanding. And so I say all the time, Jason and I are different. So I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to just talk about some categories. If you think we are alike in this category,
want me to close my eyes?
I want you to close your eyes. So if you think that we are alike in this category, I want you to put a thumbs up. And then I'm going to put up my thumb or put it down based on what I think you're going to say. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to say the category, and if you think we are alike or you think we are totally different. So alike is thumbs up, and not alike, different is thumbs down. So the first category is organization. Let me do mine first. So do you think we are alike, or do you think that we are totally different? Organization. Alike is thumbs up. Okay, good. So yes, we are different on when it comes to organizing. What works for him doesn't necessarily work for me, but it works, right? It works. We have just gotten some help with the house, so we won't be frustrated. So kudos to my grandma, my mom. They come down, they help us out. So thank you for that. And so we just realized this could definitely, he giving you 2 thumbs up. This could definitely be something that we can release this burden if we ask for help. All right. So the next is balancing time. How do we balance time? Is it alike or is it totally different? Right. Good. So we agree that we're different on balancing time. I think you understand why Jason thinks, sometimes I can take on too much. Sometimes I can think he doesn't take on enough, but in the end, it works for us when his not enough balances out with my too much, and we just right. All right. Our expression of emotions, our emotional expressions. Oh, you didn't give me a chance to do it. So I was going to say different too. So what?
You didn't even have to finish talking about
We didn't have to finish talking about that one. We express our emotions very, very, very different. Do you think it's just me and you, or you just think it's a man and woman thing?
Can I open my eyes?
You can open your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The man and woman? No.
Just,
I know. I mean, it's plenty of men that are emotional.
Yeah.
And then it's plenty that are not.
Right.
So, that's a case by case basis. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't make you right or wrong. I don't think. It kind of could probably be more wrong than right. Because I know, as I talk about with my kids sometimes, and I fall victim too. But if you don't release those emotions, they build up, and then it's an explosion.
Right.
So, again, it's got to be a very strange situation for me to cry. It's gonna have to be that. But that doesn't mean like.
Didn't you cry at our wedding?
Absolutely not.
No, I knew he did. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
Why you had to put absolutely in it?
I'm just saying, like,
all you had to do was no.
Of course, it was a phenomenal thing that happened, but like, I don't think I've cried about great things, like, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
happy
Happy
things.
things, yeah. You know,
I don't think I have. I don't think now. I'm not saying I didn't, but I don't remember doing that.
Okay.
But
all right, I was just asking. I knew he didn't cry, y'all. I knew he didn't cry. So I didn't know he was like absolutely not. But I knew he didn't cry. So we'll start back. Money management. Are we alike or different? Different. We are different. Now, thank you, sir. Jason is awesome at money management. I'm working on it. This is one of the things I'm praying for discipline in. This is one of the things that I'm praying that I communicate better about. But he's awesome. So he has definitely been holding us down in that area. And then the last one, parenting styles. How we parent.
I know it ain't. It's really similar. It's not. We're not exactly alike.
Okay.
We're not polar opposite. My thought is similar.
Okay. Similar.
Similar.
Okay. I can do that. And I do have one more. How we show appreciation to each other. Do you think we're like we're different?
Different.
We're different. Okay. So you can open your eyes. So there you go, guys. We are very different, but I love it. I love what we have. I love my husband very much. Grateful that the Lord has allowed us to grow in this process of oneness. Our differences have defined the battle marriage. This is what Stephanie and Jason look like. And I think even in us defining it, we have helped other people see who we are. You agree with that? So like, our parents, my parents, people see this is.
I think they looking at you, and I just happen to be there.
What?
I just happen to be around. You know?
No, I'm saying like, expectations, and so.
What?
So like.
What kind of expectations?
I mean, so people are not just caught off guard if you don't come to my grandma's house every Sunday, because they know that's us, right? Okay, we about to end this because
you didn't have to point that out. Like your grandma might be watching this.
I'm sorry.
So she just took offense to that.
That was an example.
But that's not true. That's not true. Now the difference is, like I say about you, you want to be everywhere, and you want to be when it's no disrespect to that, but when I know that all y'all are gone and I can lay around and I don't have anything to do. I don't have to listen to any cheering or anything like that. Like, I'm gonna take that look if I can get it.
Listen, brother.
See,
I feel
you don't. I don't think you appreciate what comes with a quiet household, and I do. Like, I truly enjoy just being quiet and doing whatever I choose to do.
Okay, Jason. Okay.
Well,
but that goes into a different conversation about personality styles, introvert versus extrovert. Extroverts feed on, people, being around people. Introverts maybe I said feed on. They rejuvenate by interacting with others. Introverts rejuvenate and restore by alone time. So that's scientific. I'm not making it up. And so he's looking at me like I'm making that up. That is scientific.
But you got. All right,
we about to go.
We about to end it because I'm telling you now. You get out here, start putting labels on me.
No, gosh, we have to end it anyway because I think we got the 5-minute cue. So, marriage and ministry, and the two shall become one, and we are becoming one, knowing that it's a process. Correct. Can we end there? Can we end there? Can I get a pound?
I think you heard the process today. You heard the process. And
no.
I'm doing no more shows. Just know that. Just to the family, to the Word family, Wordites.
You doing more shows? I heard about.
This it for me. This it for me. It's it for me. And
so anyway, but you see that we're very different, but we're defining us. We love it. We love each other. Right?
Absolutely.
It's my baby. So, the two shall become one. The marriage and ministry and the two shall become one. So, do you have any last things for the people? Anything? Any last words?
Just find what works for you.
Yeah.
Find what works for you and your spouse, and if it works for the two of you and you happy doing it, move in that direction.
Right.
But also, try to keep some people around that keep you both grounded.
Yeah.
And everything will be fine.
Yep. And everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. It is a process, but it's your process. And I'm gonna say this: Jason and I said a long time ago, we're gonna be in it, so we might as well enjoy it. And I say that to you: work at being happy. Choose to be happy. And the Lord tells us a lot of ways that can happen in His Word. And so I pray much success for you who are watching as you journey on your process of becoming one. I am so excited to see how the Lord honors and rewards that. And so this is all for our first session of Marriage and Ministry, and the two shall become one. I hope you will join us for our next show.
This will last